Unbelievable, they've done it. Talk about overcoming adversity. What a season it's been. I did feel a bit funny about using Great Escape when it's a German that's helped us escape, but strange times. Absolutely marvellous. What a job he's done. You know, it's funny watching Danny Rule celebrate at end of game yesterday in a bit when he jumped up and celebrated. It reminded me of End of Flash Gordon. You know, that bit when that robot turns up and he thinks it's going to attack him. Long live Flash, saviour of the universe, and he jumps up. Yeah! What a job he's done. It was amazing because about 4 weeks into his tenure, somebody messaged me and told me they thought he was a fraud. It takes all sorts. But the game itself, we went into the game knowing that a clean sheet essentially would keep us up, and it has done. We've won the game. A good job we did and all, because 7 out of bottom 8 teams all won, including ourselves. So nail bite it right till finish. Poor old Birmingham won it, and I think they thought they'd stayed up, didn't they? What a turnaround for them. As you know, we've got Danny Rule in. Dave sacked Eustace in 6th place. And apparently the football with a bit attritional at times, but substance, you've got to have substance. I feel for Birmingham fans really. The classic thing of owners coming in and, oh, we're going to get a big name. I don't know when they'll ever learn. But yeah, vital that Wednesday got at least a point today. And the pleasing thing was we went there and we didn't try and get a point. We went there to try and win the game. So that's the important thing. If you go and try and get a draw, you've got nowhere to go when your plan starts unfolding. You know, it's hard to suddenly try and find a winning mentality when you've gone there to sit off. No changes for Wednesday there. Pleasing. As you know, I'm a big fan of consistency of selection, and I think with the way that we played against West Brom, everybody who played that game deserved to start again. So pleased with that. The game itself, but Sunderland didn't really get out to play for. I thought it was a bit easy-osy that first sort of 10-15 minutes. A couple of sort of half opportunities they had. They didn't finish in shots, but we were caught round the edge of our box, which has been a little bit of a theme. Bannon tried a little back heel at one bit. I have no idea what he thought he were doing there, but and we give it away a couple of times. But other than that, I thought we looked solid. Good chance to take lead actually, but about 8-10 minutes, something like that. Little ball down right hand side, Volks, Ugbo, and then delivery in. Masaba coming in, sliding in at back stick, just not quite enough on stretch to get there, but decent start. 20 minutes that Roberts cut inside from right hand side. I thought he had a quiet game for them actually. He's always a bit of a worry for me. He cut inside, brilliant in swinging cross towards back stick. And their lad had got in round back door. Beadle come out, and I've mentioned this in the last video and probably one before that. Comes and claims stuff. For a young lad, he's only 19 years old, to come out in bodies and collect stuff like that. Great goalkeeping. 20 minutes, fantastic ball from Bannon, little chip over at top, Windass gets in. It's slightly wide, drills a shot across with left foot, you know, obviously not his favoured boot, but that just drags wide again. If somebody's sneaking in on back stick, that's probably a goal. Goals change games, don't they? 24 minutes, they've got ball in net. It's an in-swinger, just at back stick. Is he offside? I've only seen it once and I don't think he were off. Small moments, aren't they? Small engine moments in games. That gets choked off. And from that spell, I thought Wednesday really grew. 4 minutes later, Wednesday in lead. Lovely little play down right hand side. It's Palmer, Valentin, Bannon. Anyway, Valentin cuts ball back to Bannon. Fantastic through ball for Palmer. I love it because it's first time. First time pass, opens his body, little slide rule pass. I love a slide rule pass. I love the phrase slide rule pass. You don't hear that as much as you should these days. Palmer's in, finish. Delighted for him. I think I've said this before. I don't think I'm ever happier than when Liam Palmer scores a goal. It took a lot of stick over years. but he's a homegrown player. I've met him, lovely lad, and always very delighted when he scores. It's a very good finish and all. It's not over though. Clark comes inside. He's a good player, that Clark. I think I've said this before. I like to watch him. He's got an ease the way that he plays, and he reminds me of a young kid playing in the schoolyard. He just goes and enjoys himself, you know. He's got. I don't know whether his managers give him that freedom, but whether they do or not, he goes out and he plays with the freedom. That's really nice to see. But he cut inside. Palmo trying to show him down the line, but he come in. Oh, that couldn't be his power tools. It's every fucking Sunday. Bleeding power tools. Mate of mine moved to Germany about 10 years back. Went to work for the Adidas in boot trade, whatever you'd call it. Quite good actually, because they made all trail boots in an 8, so I got loads of them. I said, I mailed it. You settling in, son? Yeah, it's great. I said, have you got your centre team sorted? Yeah, I've got my centre team. He says, it's really good. We get about 100 people watching us. I says, oh, yeah. I said, how come? He says, well, over here on a Sunday, he said, there's like an unwritten rule that nobody makes any racket, no power tools, no twatting about. He said, so folks will go for a walk or they'll go and watch a local team. He said, it's very peaceful on a Sunday over here, Jim. And I was like, God, wish you were like that over here. Power tools, strimmers, edge clippers, fucking chainsaws. There's a bit bleeding Radio 1 next. I sometimes wish they'd won. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Clark hit post. Oh, he started with his now. It's like a competition to make most row. They got one of them rock shakers once, that you put soil on and it shakes to get rocks out. Get him, Ben. Anyway, Wednesday's goal, second goal, it actually come through a probably Sunderland's best spell of possession. Clark had cut in and hit post, and then Sunderland had a spell they were moving ball a lot better. They were having a bit of possession at ball, and then Wednesday hit them with sucker punch, really. Assist from Valentin, down right hand side. He's grown so much over this season. He really has grown, and he brings us something different out there. Obviously he's got his pace, but it's the way he'll come inside and get involved in midfield as well. And I've talked a lot, I don't like to in midfield, that's just me, but Valentin's one of them, and whether it's his natural instinct or whether it's a design by Danny Rule, I don't know, but he gets inside and he gets involved and he helps out in there with Volks and Bannon. And gives that out ball, but tremendous pace down right hand side. Skin's there, lad. And then he's got his head up, which is the most important thing. He's got his head up, picks Windass out, fires it home, and he shows his value again. Windass, first time shot. And I talked about this last season. We had that little bad run at end of the season, and it coincided with Windass and Byers being injured. And if you've got to fit Josh Windass in your side over 40 odd games of a season, I think it makes a hell of a difference, because he's there when it counts. He's there. Don't feel pressured in big moments, and he's not afraid to miss, which is a massive thing. You see sometimes when teams are at the bottom struggling with confidence, the strikers almost don't take a shot because they're scared of missing and grounds, and he'll always take it on. He's got that personality, he's got that character. Great finish, 2-0 Wednesday. And like I said, just really good timing, because I thought that was Sunderland's best spell. Second half, I'll be honest, I did have a look at scores at half time. I was trying to avoid them, because I thought if I just forget about what everyone else is doing, just like lads have got to, forget about every other game, you can enjoy it more. So I did have a quick check at half time. Oh God, they're all winning, it's a good job we're winning. But I was still quite relaxed into the second half. A lot of it sort of passed me by, if I'm honest with you. That Job got in box at one bit. Brilliant tackle from Big Dom. Oh, has been tremendous, I think, this season. He had that sod's law for him. I thought, was it October? I think it was, November. That he'd be playing out of his skin, and then he got that injury, and that's been a thing this season. Wednesday, as soon as the players are playing into form, they seem to pick some sort of knock up. But fantastic block from that Job. Who's Bellingham's brother. I didn't twig who he were at first. I thought, where's that kid? He's quite lively. And I twigged who it were, and I thought, oh, he must have got lip on about always being associated with their kid. And it must be annoying. I mean, you've seen it before, haven't you, with sons and fathers, you know, the Maldinis, the Megsons, Redknapp, whatever, your fathers played, and you're held to that, aren't you, until they get older, and people who saw them play start pegging it, essentially, and the memories fade, and then you come into your own. But imagine if your brother's 4 years older than you, and 3 years older than you, and he's one of the best players in the world. That must piss him off. I can sort of understand him. Poor bastard. Yeah, there was a sort of serenity that come over me in second half. The Auschwitz had a shot from them on a snappy half volley, but which could have caught a lot of goalkeepers out. But again, Beadle down, really clean handling, and I felt quite comfortable in that second half. The one or two, I think Sunderland fans were getting a bit irate, if you like. Although I gather they've not scored for a few games either. I wrote it down somewhere. Where is it? 1 goal in the last 6 games. That probably explains why we're feeling so calm. 3 points. Clean sheet. I love a clean sheet. I don't know what it is about me. But West Brom, Sunderland, clean sheets. I love them. I love them. And we've done it. Overturned the odds. 7th in form table since Danny Rule took over overall, and in the last 6 games, 2nd in form table. There's only Ipswich better. And we've gone into the last, this is what I enjoy, we've gone into the last 3 games, and obviously you're hoping for odd favourite here or there, it goes without saying, but 6 other teams have won it bottom 8 yesterday. And it hasn't mattered, because lads have gone out and done business, just like they went out and did business against West Brom. You know, we've won the last 3 games, 2 of them away from home. And they just deserve such credit, players. And players do deserve credit. Danny's coming and turning things round, and obviously it's his messages that are getting best out at players. But once you go over that white line, you've still got to perform. You know, you can have best manager in the world, but if you go over that white line and you don't give it everything, it doesn't matter what he's saying to you, it doesn't matter what he's droning on tactics board or, you know, whatever. You've got to go out and perform, and they've all performed. The second half of the season, I'm so proud of them, really. Because this was always going to be a tough season. When we came up, we were behind everybody else because we'd been in playoffs. We were like 10 days, 14 days behind in our preparation. That manager, you know, he's talking about signing players, and the next day he's sacked. Then there's another delay. Cisco comes in, he takes lads off for what appears to have been a bicycling holiday for pre-season in Spain. So we were ready, it was going to be a tough season. Then he had a nightmare start. I mean, Cisco, his tactics seemed to be that, well, if we don't attack, we won't miss chances. That's the only thing I can put it down to. Just them 2 points. And it was going to be tough before that. After that, it looked like an insurmountable challenge. You know, I think even the most positive Wednesday fans, and I count my son as one of them, I think, nah then. But Danny's come in. And what pleases me most about the fact that he's coming and turning things round is not just the fact that we've stayed up, which is obviously great, despite naysayers. Well, you shouldn't celebrate staying up. Fuck off. Football's not just about finishing it top 4 at Premier League, do you know what I mean? Every club's got its targets for the season, and our target was to stay up. Everybody I spoke to pre-season, lads at work, my mates, my father, everybody I spoke to, I'd take 4th from bottom. Because everybody's realistic. I think that's the one thing we say about Wednesday fans. Realistic. We knew it was going to be a tough season, and before it kicked off, I think we all agreed, 4th from bottom, that'll do us. Building blocks, stepping stones. And that's the reason I'm so pleased, because last season wasn't a meant to. All that wonderful experience with the playoffs, the miracle of Hillsborough would have been for nothing if we'd gone straight back down. And we've built on that by staying up. And it's only a small step, but it is a step. I'm absolutely thrilled that we've managed to do it. And from the deficit as well. We were so far behind other teams. It was unbelievable. It really was unbelievable. Danny's come in. He's got us attacking, which was a starting point. I got a comment on one of my videos early on in his tenure. Somebody said he's a fraud. I said, what? We haven't won yet. But you could see overnight, I think it was Watford, weren't it, when we had that penalty and then it weren't. Overnight you could see the switch in momentum in the way that we were trying to play, and albeit we didn't get the result. But you could see instantly, literally after a couple of days training, oh, this bloke means business. We're going to go about our business in a different way. We're going to go out and try and win games. And Wednesday fans can see that, most of them. They weren't the points on the board, but, oh, we're going to give this a good go. And that's all that people ask. That's all that people ask. And he's done that. And the players have done that. They've responded. Because psychologically, the players will have known, we've come up last season. But we're talking about a squad that had lost to Forest Green last year. So they will have known it's going to be a step up. They will have known there's going to be some tough games near. There's some really good teams. Southampton, Leeds, falling apart, aside. Leicester, do you know what I mean? Teams up there, West Brom, Ipswich, good sides. We knew it was going to be tough. And after that start, psychologically, that can damage you as a player. When you sat down there at bottom of the table, when we were bottom, fans are depressed, players are depressed. And they're having to go into training every day and, well, we're going through this again and we're not going to get out. So, fans, players and management, I think everybody deserves credit for this season. Danny Roll. He's coming and he has. It's rescued the memory of last season, because what Darren Moore had done, amongst other things, but where I think he does deserve a real deal of credit is Darren Moore came in, and I really think he helped to build bridges between the fans and the club that I think had been wavering over a number of years. And there was a sort of connectivity that I think he was a huge part of putting back in, and that could have been broken this season, and I think it was wavering during Cisco tenure. And it's almost like a glass vase, and it was dropped. And then Danny Rull's come in and caught it and went, oh, hang on lads, you nearly dropped this. Do you know what I mean? That togetherness. And he's got fans on side straight away. But it's not just about him being a nice bloke. You can see his methods on pitch. You can hear the players talk about him. We all know people who's involved in club, and you get things that come out. Everybody's so impressed with him. Nachanseri now has got a massive, massive opportunity to right some of the wrongs that's been done over the last few years. Now, I'm not saying his heart's in wrong place and out like that, but he's made mistakes, and you've got to own your mistakes. Now, the situation he's in at a lot of clubs, I think that'd be the end of it, but he's stumbled across Danny Rull, and you've got to give Chansiri credit there for going out and getting him. But this bloke represents his best chance of rebuilding what's been undone over the last 10 years. Now, he's got to back him. And when we talk about backing a manager, we always think about players. Who's going to let him sign? What's his budget going to be? And to be fair to Chansiri, he has backed managers for the most part. I think there's only Poulis who's never signed anybody. But it's not just about signing players. Danny Rull is a manager who is going to go to the very top. That's apparent straight away. Blind man on galloping horse could see that. He's going at the very top, and if he can drag us some of that way with him, that'd be fantastic. And I think he's up for that. I think he's up for that on his journey. So when I'm talking about backing the manager, I'm not just on about backing him in transfer market in summer, although obviously he'll have to do that. But backing him in terms of giving everything he wants in terms of the infrastructure. And if he does that, if they can sort out training facilities, if they can sort out backroom staff and equipment that they need and stuff like that, then it's a no-lose situation, because when Danny does move on, and he will move on at some stage, those structures will be in place for whoever comes in. He knows what he's doing, so let him be involved and say, we need this, we need this, and we need this. And we saw against West Brom the other week what it can be like to a packed Hillsborough. And if you've got a manager who's going places and you give him the tools that he needs to start that building job, to build on the foundations it's in, you can see a packed Hillsborough every week, because fans will get on board when they know the club's being run properly. I just feel like it minute wonderful day yesterday, but I feel like this is a real seesaw moment now. A real seesaw moment for club and chairman. I know that there's FFP, but if you're sorting out a training ground, or even acquiring a new training ground, that don't come off FFP. But these are all things that make you a better club, a more stable club. These are things that help you produce better players. These are things that help you attract better players. I really just hope that there's no on goals from this, because it's an open net in front of him. And I'm not saying, we know he likes to be involved, I'm not saying just let Danny run everything, obviously. I mean, we looked at Christmas, he looked very tired, Danny, because he was involved in everything, all the transfers, talking to players, apparently he's booked hotels and whatever for away matches. But give him the structure, let him get people in. Let him get people in above him, so that he can be in the conversation with them and say, well, we need this, we need this, and we need this. And then let somebody else who's an expert in that field say, right, that's what we want. I'll go out and source it. I'll go out and I'll go and deal with contractors or whatever. Well, United fans just getting back in. Yeah. Absolutely buzzing last night. I don't drink in house. It's just something I don't do. I don't drink that much anymore anyway. I'm looking after my liver, but I've got to be honest, so I sat in the kitchen and I'm like drumming my fingers outside, and I thought I might go to the shop and get me some cans or something, because it just... You've got to celebrate these moments, haven't you? You've got to celebrate these moments. And people say you shouldn't, but why not? Football is about more than top four going for European spots. Football is the journeys of different clubs in that season. Every season's a story, isn't it? And beginning, middle and end. And if you get an happy ending, we can celebrate it. You know what I mean? When Carlisle scored their last minute winner to stay in Football League, well, they shouldn't be celebrating. Get it bin, honestly. No, I loved it. What a day. And what I love is that Wednesday did it themselves. They weren't reliant on other teams. They've gone out and they've got results. They've kept clean sheets. They've scored goals. Windass has got his 40th yesterday. I'm just delighted for him. I really am. And table. I mean, where do we go now? Where do we go next season? I'd take 10th, I'm not going mad. I'm not saying Danny's going to come in and get us in playoffs. I don't like that, although I won't put it past him. But building blocks might not be a leap, but if it's another step, great. Mid-table. I mean, some people would say that's boring. I think after the last 20 years, Wednesday fans would probably accept mid-table and a chance to see something develop. Got to get him tied down. He obviously wants to be here. He's talked about pre-season, a training camp in England, a training camp in Germany. He wants to be here, and Chansiri now has got to give him the tools that he needs.